Shit. Get a load of this fucking guy.
It's official, all the haters shall be put to rest. Terrifier 3 is the best Terrifier movie. Obviously, there is an issue with the second movie, mainly being the convoluted plot that wasn't explained and the runtime. And while this is a bit shorter with a lot tighter pacing, enough questions are answered to make me think by the time this franchise ends, it will be satisfying enough.
Imposterous.
It's not the last movie, which I thought it should be. Apparently we'll get one or two more. But despite that, it's still headed in the right direction. We gotta talk about the deaths, because they really are something. Heads being cut open with a box cutter, chainsaws up the ass, rats being put down your throat. It's intense stuff. Is it worse than Terrifier 2? Yes, but not so much because it's violent. It's more creative, definitely a lot more of it. Some of these deaths are emotional, opposed to the second movie that really wasn't. And the acting for the victims is actually believable. If you close your eyes, you'll still get the big picture, and there's no denying it's effective. Apparently it was going to be even worse, an expanded chainsaw scene, a longer gerbling sequence, but I guess we gotta save something for Terrifier 4. Some may find it controversial that we have kids being axed and blown up in this movie, but that's something Damien says he will not show, and I think that's a good idea. It still happens, there's no reason art would let the kid live, but if you literally showed a little boy being axed, that would be shock value for the wrong reason. It's respectable that Damien doesn't show that, and the sound effects get the point across. The acting in this movie is top-notch. David Howard Thornton and Lauren LaVera do a fantastic job, and the performances really outdo the previous movies. Not quite sure about the new villain. Victoria Hayes does speak and is a lot more crude, but she isn't quite as memorable. I'm still curious about the little pale girl, who is absent here. But that being said, what had to be improved really is improved. A big complaint last time was nothing's explained in this movie. Well, it is here. We find out more about the costume and how it came to be, but not too much just yet. A lot of things are hinted at, but still not explained. But I do think it's going somewhere, and it will by the time the franchise comes to an end. We definitely need some more questions answered eventually, but for those who think it's just the same thing, well, no, it isn't.
You are a liar.
The plot primarily focuses on Sienna overcoming what happened, trying to get past it and celebrate the Christmas season, and it does have a genuine feel. Obviously things don't stay that way, Art the Clown is back to his old tricks, and when it all concludes we have an amazing climax, and I mean amazing climax. The brutality, witnessing her new family being brutally killed, and the fight that ends it off is way better than the last movie. That one was still way too long and repetitive. The costume looked cool and all, but not a whole lot to that. Not to mention it apparently wasn't fun to wear. But this is not that, it's a damn good finale, brutal as hell, and it had me glued to the screen.
Fucking amazing!
The whole thing about Jonathan supposedly dying is kind of stupid. He's barely in the movie, so if he was really gonna die, they would have shown that. I'm not really a huge fan of the idea because it's either obvious, or he really is dead, and that's not good writing. But obviously there's not that many flaws, for those who want a full analysis that will happen in the future. But since the movie is less than a week old, I wanted to give my opinion. If you like part 2, you will probably like this more, and if you didn't like that, for the many notable reasons, you may still like this. It's easy to say it's the same shit, I think IGN said that, I'm not gonna waste time watching it.
You are a liar.
But that's not a valid complaint, the pacing is fixed, questions are answered, and as the franchise goes on, I think it will get even better. The brutality is ramped up, the kills are unique, and the acting is top-notch. I guess my recommendation, there's no good reason to not watch it, unless you just don't like real violent movies. If that's the case, you really shouldn't be here, but since you are, consider hitting the like button down below. If you enjoyed, subscribing is an option too. Sharing the video is essential these days, given YouTube's quality. And if you're a fan of video games too, I have a channel for that, link in the description. I'm an analyst, and remember kids, some things don't get explained right away. And that's okay.
Friend of yours, Eddie.
Well, that was a fucking first.
All right, well now hold on, now listen. I'm wearing the outfit, right?